NCAA Football 14 is EA's final college football effort on Generation 3 platforms, and perhaps this entry marks the coup de grace for the franchise. After 7 years of subpar outings, can NCAA 14 finally grow up and offer fans a simulation experience that is worthy of being the only college game on the market? On the field, NCAA Football 14 represents the greatest yearly evolution the series has seen. The game still plays similarly to previous outings, but if one looks beyond the surface, it's not hard to find a myriad of improvements that culminate with a gameplay experience that presents the most realistic football sim ever. In its final year with current-gen systems, the team at Tiburon finally introduces core gameplay improvements that stem from internal technological investments rather than simply polishing already broken gameplay mechanics. This begins with the Infinity Engine. New and improved over Madden 13, this engine introduces real-time physics that dynamically impact tackle animations. Tighter and less buggy than its Madden predecessor, the Infinity Engine is a first step towards having physics dictate the events on the field, rather than canned animations. The engine allows for a greater variety of collisions, although it only applies to tackling, trucking, and stiff arm animations. While more of an aesthetic feature, the Infinity Engine ultimately produces more dynamic on-field action. The most tangible gameplay addition is found in the new running game improvements. It starts with the addition of hard-cut animations, which, for the most part, rid the legacy issue of swerve running. A new locomotion system is in the works for next-gen systems, but the implementation of animation-based direction changes is a band-aid approach that greatly improves the run game. It's never felt so good to use someone's momentum against them. The offensive line was made much smarter as well. Guards pull appropriately, linemen do a better job of getting off their blocks and into the second level, and targeting defenders in general is noticeably improved. Again, small, under-the-hood improvements are key here. Notable is the addition of 20 new option types. Thankfully, the AI is appropriately adept when orchestrating said schemes. The option plays develop much faster, the relationship between the pitchman and quarterback has been redone, and quarterbacks are no longer slowed down when the ball is snapped. On the whole, the game is much smarter, faster, and more dynamic than ever. For the first time, it feels like every play is a legitimate option. The diversity of college football playbooks is finally represented. You can attack your opponent with a multitude of options. Thus, each offense is both more realistically portrayed and more viable. Playbooks ranging from spread offenses to pro-style offenses are aptly represented, and the options are nearly limitless. Unfortunately, many issues from previous years persist in this iteration. For starters, the ball remains tethered to the receiver, rendering the passing game much too easy. Essentially, the passing mechanics are outdated. The math behind the scenes that dictate the outcome of throws is too simple. Instead of the ball being thrown to a spot on the field that is influenced by the ratings of the quarterback and user input, the game uses a dice roll to determine if the ball is perfectly thrown or an overthrow. There's no variation in a quarterback's accuracy when the game decides that the ball will be a completion. The ratings only affect the number of overthrows, not the degree of inaccuracy on any given pass. The passing game in NCAA 14 consequently feels inorganic and predetermined. Additionally, line interactions continue to suffer from the win-loss animations that permeate both run and pass plays, instead of having contextual animations that alter dynamically based on the events that unfold during the play. Much like the passing mechanics, the lineman interactions ultimately feel inorganic and scripted. Other notable issues include inadequate cornerback and receiver interactions, efficient secondary AI over the top, and special teams play that resembles something from the dinosaur era. NCAA Football 14 is possibly the best looking sports game on the market. The art direction is phenomenal, from the more saturated color palette to the progressive lighting that changes along the course of a game, to even the insane level of detail put into each stadium. The game is undeniably gorgeous. The commentary, however, is as stale as ever. Unless a new engine is put in place, that allows for interruptible commentary and branching dialogue, commentary will remain dreadful. The crowd similarly lacks energy and intelligence. Moreover, repetitive cutscenes encumber the presentation and unnecessarily slow down the pace of the game. Likewise, the on-the-field presentation starkly contrasts the simultaneous attempt at broadcast presentation, highlighting the franchise's lack of direction over the past 7 years. NCAA 14 is packed with content off the field. Dynasty mode has seen the biggest upgrade, although in this case, upgrade is synonymous with streamlined. Gone are the days of phoning prospects and allotting X amount of time to each one. Recruiting has been condensed to a simple yet effective game of point allocation. Each team is given an equal number of points to spend on recruits each week, with bonus points provided to teams with higher rankings in various categories. The streamlined approach to recruiting is much less tedious and time-consuming, although some may miss investing large amounts of time each week to land a prized recruit. Ultimately though, NCAA 14's refurbished recruiting engine generates more realistic recruiting classes. RPG elements are incorporated into the game with the all-new Coach Skills system. As your program racks up various accolades throughout your dynasty, your coach can level up, to which you can invest in 2 different skill trees, recruiting and coaching. The addition of perk trees is great in concept, but poor in execution. Your coaching stats increase way too quickly, and there's no risk of losing the points you've gained. In just a couple of years, you can become the next Nick Saban. And after you've unlocked various perks, you remain a coaching legend, regardless of how poorly you perform in subsequent years. The lack of a risk and reward system within the RPG elements nullifies what is otherwise a great idea. Other game modes include the much needed addition of a skills trainer, which allows veterans to hone their skills and newcomers to get accustomed to EA's brand of football. There's a season mode that acts as a bare bones dynasty mode too. Other than that, Road to Glory remains untouched, while online play prevails as the high point of the series. Overall, Tiburon has added to an already jam-packed feature set, meaning that this game will certainly last until next season. NCAA Football 14 offers a solid brand of football. The gameplay still possesses many legacy issues that simply won't be ameliorated until the advent of new consoles. But what gamers do have is a game that finally lives up to its potential. It's been a rough outing these past 7 years, but EA Tiburon has created a game that is undeniably fun. It's not perfect, but NCAA 14 is the best college football game ever produced. It's just a shame that when things finally seem to be looking up for the franchise, legal matters might prevent the series from reaching its peak. Here's to hoping that EA gets that opportunity to climb that mountain and deliver fans an accurate representation of the greatest sport in the world. NCAA Football 14 gets a 7.4 out of 10.